How to stop basing self-worth on appearance. Do you feel like your appearance determines your self-worth? Are you ready to accept your appearance and know that your worth has nothing to do with the way you look? By the end of this video, you'll know that there is more than the physical body, and self-worth lies much deeper than that. Plus, I'm going to share a story of things that I've seen where self-worth was based on appearance and how I quickly made the decision to never let that define me. My name is James Burnham, and I work as a fear coach. I help people use fear to guide themselves through things that really they struggle with and they're scared to break through. If this is something that you're scared of, listen to these points and maybe they can help you.
Are you not entertained? Are you not entertained?
The first thing that you need to do when you are caught in looking for validation through your appearance is recognizing that you are seeking outward validation. This is a problem for so many of us. It's something that I struggled with most of my life, and I still fall into at times. I've been lucky that this specific way of looking for validation has never been an issue for me, but I can understand how troubling it would be and how hard it might be for somebody, because I have my own things that I seek and struggle with. If this is you, I don't want to minimize it with my stories, but I want you to know you can step through it, no matter what you're facing. I've seen incredible examples of this in my life. The second thing is you got to understand only you can validate you. You're the one. If you look for outward validation from anyone but yourself, that moment, that dopamine hit of you're okay, will last as long as the sound is in your ears, and the moment it's over, it's gone. You validating you will give you an abiding feeling of strength and worthiness that will allow you to walk into any room dressed in any way, in any size, in any shape that you are, and be cool. I promise you. Point 3, offer yourself compassion for your struggle. This is a real thing. We all face this in some way in our human lives. Maybe it's not appearance, maybe it's something else, but we all have that space. It's okay if you're facing that. It's okay to struggle, but be compassionate. Go easy on yourself. Don't beat yourself up for it. Get through it with kindness, like you would help a friend. And the final thing that you need to do is learn to love all of you. You've got to be able to look in the mirror and say, I love you, and not worry that you got acne, or not worry that you got a burn, or not worry about the scars, or the clothes, or whatever it is you're worried about. You got to let it go. You got to love everything. And as you love everything about yourself, you will become more beautiful, because your beauty will shine through whatever it is you're worried about. So my stories of this situation are maybe trivial, but they're really meaningful for me, because they help me to understand that I had actually a space in my life where I wasn't seeking outward validation, in a life for me that was largely looking for people to affirm who I was. This was not a space that I struggled with. And it changed my perspective when I learned that I didn't know others did struggle in this area. I was sitting in college, I was a freshman, and I was hanging out with some friends, and they were wealthy. And I was a small town boy from Canada in a space that was new to me. And I had these khaki suspender pants on. It was the 80s. These things were kind of cool. And some girl says to me, wow, cool pants. What are they? And I said, cotton. And she's like, no, like who made them? I was like, what? What do you mean who made them? I don't know where they were made. She grabs the back of my pants and looks and sees the tag and sees the brand. And apparently it wasn't a good brand of pants. And all of a sudden she was disgusted by my pants that she had liked a moment before, because they were not made by a name brand. I had no idea at the age of 18 that name brands mattered. I just liked certain things, and if they were well made, I liked them. I didn't care about the brand. And the absolute focus on something as specific and small as the name brand to change the whole view of what my pants were blew my mind. Still blows my mind to this day. But it is a thing. It's something that happens to us, and we fall into this, and it's easy to do if we're caught in it. And it doesn't matter. If she had never known what brand of pants I was wearing, she would have walked away thinking they were awesome. She could have thought whatever they were. But she did know, and it changed her perspective. And I would say if we switch that idea to ourselves, if you think you're the top brand, if you understand that your brand is the brand, if you can provide that for yourself, people will see that in you, regardless of how you look. I went to a party at a private equity firm at Christmas. I was invited to this party, and I had worked out and I was running late and I was sweaty coming from the gym, and a friend called me and said, "Where are you going?" And I said, "Oh, I've got to go to this party. It's a Christmas party for this firm I'm coaching at." And they said, "Well, you're going to go home and change first?" And I laughed and I said, "No, I don't have time. I'm going to go in what I'm wearing." And they were like, "Are you crazy? They're going to be all dressed up." And I was like, "You know what? I'll pull it off because I don't care." And I did. And I went and it was fine. Nobody had a problem with me. It was fine because I was fine. Now, you can do that for yourself. And I think one of my favorite examples of this is Chris Farley. Chris Farley was a comedian when I was a kid on Saturday Night Live. He was overweight. He did a lot of physical comedy. And frankly, I used to wish I was fat looking at him. And I was fat. I was actually quite large just a few years ago. I was very overweight, and I used to dream that I could be as funny as Chris Farley in my body that I had, because he was so funny. And there was a scene, a skit that he did with Patrick Swayze, who back in the early 90s, late 80s, was a bit of a heartthrob. And they did a Chippendale dance together. And Patrick Swayze was trying out for the Chippendales in this skit, and he'd do all these real sexy moves with his shirt off, and he had a bow tie around his neck. And then Chris Farley was competing for this position on this dance team, and Chris Farley would mimic him. And it went back and forth and back and forth, and he could do everything Patrick Swayze could do. And you can Google this on YouTube. You can check it out. It's hilarious. Chris Farley was as cool as Patrick Swayze was. And it didn't matter that Patrick Swayze was all ripped and shredded, because Chris Farley could just go and didn't care. It was beautiful. It was a beautiful thing to watch. And I know that sometimes it's hard for us to see within ourselves that beauty, because we only see what's wrong. We only see what we don't like. And we're hoping that others will see and validate something good in us, because we are unable to validate that space ourselves. But I can promise you that as you move through life and as you're facing all the troubles that you encounter, this need for people to see your appearance as better than you think it is not the place where you will find relief. The place that you find your relief for who you are and how you look and how you move resides within yourself. It is the only way to get past this need for showing up and appearing a certain way. And it'll free you. That's the beauty. It will free you to act in ways that you never thought you could, because you're no longer worried about the judgment coming from others who may think, "Oh, you don't look good enough," or you will not feel concerned about going to a party because you're not dressed right, or you will not be worried about asking that girl out or that guy out that you're dying to ask out because you think they're too good looking for you. You'll have the courage because you bring that within yourself. It's there. And that is the real beauty that you have to offer. That is where your appearance matters. And that is what you can do for yourself if you're willing to face the fear of owning not only the fact that you have areas that you want to improve, but you have great and powerful strengths. Hey, I got another video for you, how to feel worthy of love. And don't forget to like, subscribe, click the bell so you don't miss any other content. And make some comments below. If this is something you struggle with, I'd love to hear your perspective on what you do to overcome that and why it's a struggle for you. I'd love to be able to hear your comments. Hey, and if you want some coaching, if you feel like this is something that resonates with you, I do have a webpage. You can go to www.jamesgburnham.com, and there's a calendar link there. You can schedule a free session with me. We can figure out if we can work together, see if I can help you. I'd love to be able to do that. Check out this next video. It's coming up. I know you're going to stick around. Dive in for more.